Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the last F1 2018 season predictions video. Thank you to everyone that has supported this little mini series. It hasn't got the most views in the world, but at the end of the day, the reason why I do videos nowadays is just because I enjoy them and I like seeing your comments and feedback. So thank you to everyone that has supported this little series. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, the last one in this little mini series is Sauber, or Alfa Romeo Sauber as we know them for this season. So they've got a pretty, well, I'd say a decent lineup. I mean, obviously some people don't particularly rate Ericsson, but I think with a better car there's a likelihood maybe he can show what he can do. But of course they have the lineup of Leclerc, a young Ferrari driver who's shown phenomenal talent. Phenomenal. Can't even speak properly today. Incredible talent. He's shown incredible talent throughout last season and the last couple of seasons in Formula 3, Formula 2. He's shown how fantastic he is, and going into this season in Formula 1, I think a lot of us expect him to do quite well. So yeah, let's jump into this video. Let's talk about Marcus Ericsson first. So Marcus Ericsson hasn't had the greatest last couple of years in Formula 1. I don't think he scored a single point in the last 2 seasons, which obviously is quite disappointing, but it can be understood because, let's be honest, the 2016 and 2017 Sauber were not particularly great cars, if not probably the worst cars on the grid on both seasons. So I can understand why he didn't score points, but I can definitely understand why people were sort of slightly disappointed that maybe someone else didn't get that Sauber Alfa Romeo seat for this season, obviously Verline being one of them. But in my opinion, I know maybe this might be a little bit controversial in a way, but I honestly don't feel that Ericsson deserves all the bad stick he gets. I mean, of course he has made mistakes throughout his career, little silly mistakes where maybe other drivers would not have done so, but I honestly do think Marcus Ericsson is a talented driver. I've watched him in the junior formula, I watched him in GP2 in particular, and he was a very quick driver on his day. Now I know junior formula isn't particularly sort of representative of Formula 1 speed, but I think it generally does relate. Like he was pretty quick in GP2. He was quite unlucky to not get the results, you know, in his last couple of seasons. But it is what it is. But his predictions for this season, or my predictions for him this season, I feel like there's a good likelihood he will be scoring points this season. I actually think that, I don't know, I kind of feel like it's a bit of a bold claim, but I feel like every single driver is going to score a point this season. I think that's something maybe not everyone will predict, but I feel like there's quite a good likelihood that the midfield especially will be quite close this season, meaning a lot of cars could be in the points, which should be or should make for a really interesting battle. So for me, I feel like Marcus Ericsson will be scoring some points this season, get off that 2-year barren run of no points scored for him. But I think he did show also in 2015 when that Sauber car was, you know, all right from time to time. You can definitely put up a performance when need be. So I think it'll be interesting to see Ericsson this season. He's got a young, up-and-coming, fantastic driver in Charles Leclerc to his side. If he can beat him, maybe that'll prove some of the doubters wrong. But for me personally, I feel like it's going to be close, as I said, in the midfield. But I'm going to put Marcus Ericsson to finish P19 in the Drivers' Championship, only ahead of Hartley. Now, I feel like there's a strong likelihood all those guys near the bottom of the field will be battling away with each other, but I don't feel that Sauber Alfa Romeo will make that next step into the midfield. I don't think it'll be on the level of Force India, but as I said, I feel like they will be scoring points a little bit more regularly, or possibly a little bit more regularly than they did in the last couple of years, which was obviously quite disappointing for them for the last couple of years. They just couldn't score points whatsoever. So yeah, I'll put P19 for Ericsson, but I kind of hope he proves people wrong. I kind of hope that he does a good season and maybe even beats Leclerc. That would be funny, but I don't particularly feel it will happen. So next up, Charles Leclerc. Of course, he dominated Formula 2 last year, and I think he won Formula 3 the year before that as well. So he's had a fantastic last couple of years in motorsport. One of the, you know, the brightest up-and-coming drivers, you'd say, in the world of motorsport right now. He's had this opportunity to go to Alfa Romeo Sauber for this year. Of course, that's helped increase the backing from Ferrari to Alfa Romeo or Sauber. You know what I mean? It's increased the backing, meaning that team should have more stability this season, should have more money to go forward and develop the car, which they struggled with the last couple of years because they just had no money whatsoever really to do so. But Charles Leclerc, as I said, one of the best young drivers on the planet right now. Honestly, he could even be the best. I mean, he is absolutely fantastic. Some of the overtakes, especially if you look at like Bahrain, the second race in Bahrain, GP2 or Formula 2 last year, he actually did a pit stop where you know, it's not a pit stop race, but he did a pit stop and actually beat everyone still. Some fantastic overtakes in that race especially, but just throughout the season really, he'd go out there and dominate races where, you know, people would just be like, oh my god, how's he done this? So I feel like this season of Formula 1, he doesn't really have to prove much. I mean, for him, obviously, the aim is to beat Ericsson. I think maybe some people wouldn't think that's a hard thing, but Ericsson's had, what, 4 years of F1 experience now? 14, 15, yeah, Ericsson's had 4 years of F1 experience now, so I think it might be a bit of a challenge for Leclerc to beat Ericsson, but I feel like Leclerc on his day is just next level. So I feel like if there's a day where he and the Sauber just mesh together to make this perfect weekend, he could be scoring some decent points for them this year. That's what I feel, at least. I feel it's more likely he'll be scoring more points than Ericsson this year. As I said, I hope that Ericsson proves people wrong, because I think he's a talented driver, but I think that Charles Leclerc is just one of these drivers that you like. In a way, he can do no wrong. He can do no wrong. I think it's going to be a good season for Charles Leclerc this year. I've actually put him to finish P16 in the Drivers' Championship this year, so I feel like there's a strong likelihood he'll be scoring possibly over 10 points, which would be a big achievement for him and for the Alfa Romeo team, because let's be honest, it's a team that has struggled the last couple of years to score points, and they've sort of lucked into a lot of those points. So, you know, any points, I should say that any points they scored the last couple of years, they sort of lucked into in a lot of ways. So it is what it is. So I'm going to say Charles Leclerc finished P16 in the Drivers' Championship. Marcus Ericsson to finish P19. I think it won't be too, the distance, the gap between them won't be too much, but Ericsson, of course, has had that experience in Formula 1, which should help him this season. Of course, a year's worth of experience in this style of car as well. But I do feel Charles Leclerc, just the way he is, I feel like he probably will outscore Ericsson this season. Maybe not by much, but I think he will outscore him this season, meaning I think he'll finish ahead in the Drivers' Championship, of course. So what about the team? As I said, I feel like there's going to be a bit of a gap between Williams and the back of the grid. That's just my personal opinion. So I think Haas, Sauber and Toro Rosso are going to sort of battle it out, possibly for 8th place in the Constructors' Championship this year. But as I said, Sauber, Alfa Romeo, it's a bit of a rebuilding job for this year. Of course, they've had, they've got a pretty good lineup now. I mean, they had a alright lineup last year as well, obviously with Verline. To be fair, I suppose they're probably equally as good as last year, but I think there's more of a likelihood that this season's car will be much better than last year. Of course, that increase of money from Ferrari, Alfa Romeo branding on the car as well now. There's got to be much more money in that Sauber team than there has been the last couple of years. So I feel like there's a good likelihood they'll be scoring decent points, as I said already. I feel like they'll finish P9 in the Constructors' Championship, just behind Haas, but I think possibly comfortably ahead of Toro Rosso. I don't know. I feel like whilst I wrote these predictions, I thought the Toro Rosso were going to be terrible. And then the first couple of days of testing, where they're putting in, they're banging in the lap times and the amount of laps, and I'm like, I don't know now. Toro Rosso might be okay, and that's worrying to my predictions that could completely upset everything. But we'll see. So I'll leave it as it is right now. I'll say Sauber are going to finish P9 in the championship, but if Toro Rosso do actually have a decent car and Honda's good, maybe I might be proven wrong. But yeah, so I'm going to read through all of my predictions right now, because I wanted to end this series on a sort of a rundown of everything I've said. So apologies, I'll hold it up here. So I'm looking over here. I apologise, but that's just me reading through it. So I think Vettel's going to win the championship, Hamilton to finish P2, Verstappen to finish P3, Ricciardo to finish P4, Bottas P5, Raikkonen P6, Alonso P7, Hulkenberg P8, Ocon P9, Sainz P10, Van Dorn P11, Perez P12, Stroll P13, Sorokin P14, Grosjean P15, Leclerc P16, Gasly P17, Magnussen P18, Ericsson P19 and Hartley P20. That's my drivers' predictions for this season. If any of those are right, I'll give myself a thumbs up at the end of the year, but I assume it's quite likely a lot of those won't be in that order. But in terms of the Constructors' Championship, I'll quickly read those out as well. I thought Red Bull would be Constructors' Champions, then Mercedes P2, Ferrari P3, McLaren P4, Force India P5, Renault P6, Williams P7, Haas P8, Sauber P9 and Toro Rosso P10. So yeah, they're my predictions for the 2018 season. Of course, when you're watching this, I think pre-season test week one would have been done. Yeah, oh my god, I can't even speak at this point. But yeah, I feel like pre-season testing would have been done by this point. when you're watching this video, so maybe some of these predictions are already starting to look wrong. Alright, that'd be quite nice, but I doubt it. There's more likelihood they're going to be wrong. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed the video. I really appreciate any support on these videos, so I appreciate a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you are new. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the mini-series. Appreciate everyone that has supported it, or supported me through it. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed the podcast. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you guys soon. Goodbye.